my name is Lynnette Marrero, and I am the mixologist here at Aplós. So the theory behind how we mix at Aplós is starting kind of where you start with any base product, right? So when you're starting to get people into cocktails, the best thing to do is to kind of start with some classics. So the two hero cocktails that I'm going to make for our new Arise is thinking about some of my favorites. So the margarita, which we'll start with, which is a great classic cocktail, something very trendy, and I think people love it because it incorporates some beautiful aromas. It brings fresh citrus, it brings lime, we're using agave nectar, and all those flavors together with the effects of the Arise give you this uplifting, fun party moment. So we're gonna go ahead and make that cocktail. So to start making our margarita, I'm gonna use this cocktail shaker. We're gonna use some agave nectar. So this is making more of a Tommy style margarita. To bring in some of the aromas I want to think about in a margarita when making a non-alc version, we're gonna think about replacing some of those flavors and aromas. We're not using Cointreau, so I'm actually using orange flower water here. So I'm gonna dash a few bit of that. This is a common baking ingredient and brings that beautiful citrus aroma. If you don't have that, you also could just use the peel of an orange, and that will give you that beautiful zest and aroma, but we just kind of want to bring those flavors together. The second thing I'm going to add is our agave nectar. This is just going to give us a tiny bit of sweetness. I'm going to add about ½ ounce of that in our shaker here. I diluted this with 1 part water to 2 parts agave, just so it makes it easier for us to pour. The next thing we're going to do is take our fresh lime juice. Fresh lime juice is best. If you have to buy something that's in the store and it's a little more processed, I would add some water to it because it's going to be really tart and you don't want to have all of that bitterness going. So I'm going to put 1 ounce of our lime juice. So all of these flavors are really going to come together with Arise. Arise, when we were coming up with the formulation, we wanted to think about reposado tequila, some of those flavors and aromas that you really like. So there's a savoriness, there's an herbaceousness here that goes in, and I'm going to do a 2 ounce pour. So this is kind of our standard shot pour. This is to get the best efficacy of the wonderful functionals here, and also it's going to make that nice big presence when you have, a margarita. You really taste that, the agave-based distillate. So I want you to really taste the Arise there. We're going to go ahead and add some ice to our shaker now. All right, got it nice and cold. I'm going to go ahead and strain this into our glass over, I'm using 1 large cube, but I like to have nice big rocks of ice. Alternatively, if you like salt on your margarita, you can go ahead and salt the rim or just throw a pinch of salt into your shaker to get that same aroma. And then we're going to garnish this with a lime wheel here. But now it's a beauty, it's all waiting for its close-up. And here you go, you have your Aplós Arise Margarita. So my other cocktail that I really love to make with Arise is the French 75. I love making this cocktail because I think about the kinds of spirits I would normally mix in this, and it's gin. Gin is really aromatic, has a lot of floral aromas. So really using Arise for this occasion really makes a lot of sense for leaning into those herbaceous notes. I also think anytime you have a sparkling cocktail, it's time to have fun and celebrate. So the French 35 is one of those drinks I love in that occasion. So I'm gonna go ahead and start this cocktail by adding a little bit of a twist here. My sugar element I'm gonna use today is honey. Traditionally calls for simple syrup, but I like with Aplós to use either a honey syrup or agave nectar. So I'm kind of just leaning into some other sweeteners, but you can use simple syrup if you like, but I'm gonna go ahead and add ½ ounce to my shaker here. The next ingredient I'm going to use is some fresh lemon juice, and I'm going to do ½ ounce of that fresh lemon. And then I'm gonna add 1.5 ounces of our Arise. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and add ice and then give this a beautiful shake. Okay, I'm gonna strain this out into our coupe or flute glass. You can also use a smaller wine-based glass. Typically, that's how you really enjoy beautiful sparkling cocktails. And then I'm going to top this off with some non-alcoholic sparkling champagne. You could also use a sparkling apple cider. What I really want here is to have something that with fizzy that also brings some acidity to mimic that idea of having bubbles. First thing I'm going to do is go ahead and add a little bit of lemon peel. You want to get that beautiful aroma and zest that you really love when you have this style of cocktail. And I'm going to go ahead and garnish it with a very pretty one, so it looks just as gorgeous as you'd like to celebrate with. Cheers. When we make it with calm, it's a mellow margarita, but now it's the errats.